Oh, appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Looks like we are back up on YouTube. And try to hold this connection. Hopefully it doesn't disconnect. Hey guys, those of you who are in IG, if you can double check the YouTube link just to make sure that the chat is still up, let me know. Thank you. Let's go live chat. Texas, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, I see you. It's Fitz. I appreciate it. Thank you. D. Barrett, thank you. Thank you. First time stream woes happens to everybody. I appreciate patience. Love you guys. I tried to download something to hopefully help with the connection to keep this thing in place. So allegedly it says it works, with connectivity issues. So I don't know. But yeah, I'm ready for questions again. While we're here. It's Fitz. Thanks for checking in, checking the YouTube channel. Thank you. Appreciate it. Do you think Sam can win a Heisman? Absolutely. Absolutely. He's 7th right now. Jeffrey Janelle, thank you. I saw your last comment, by the way. And we're gonna get all this live stuff situated, but appreciate it. But going back to Sam's Heisman, Texas 101 Texas. Absolutely. I love Sam's leadership abilities. He's going to have the numbers in the Big 12 as a quarterback, running and passing. It's just he has to win the Big 12. He has to win the Big 12. He has to have his team in playoff contention because if the wins aren't there, it's going to be hard to justify him being amongst those top 3, top 4 guys in the country. But absolutely, Sam, and he has the trajectory. Texas number 3 in recruiting rankings. Hell yeah. Austin McLemore, every game you went to, they lost. We got to turn that around. How do you feel about CFP picks? How do you feel about A&M being so salty about the recruiting rankings? The nonsense is strong with them. Aggies are going to do what they do, and it's little brother. His little brother. And look, I don't ever like to hate on people on channel and stuff like that, but it's predictable. It's predictable when you look at the momentum and all the trash talking. Rankings matter when they're on top, but the moment you surpass them, now we don't care about. Now let's see it on the field, and all that type of stuff. So it is what it is. Not yet on the call-ins. Not yet. We may get there. How do you think Chris Boyd will perform at the next level, and what team picks him up? He was very inconsistent this year. He was very inconsistent for his career. No disrespect to the brother, but his tape speaks for itself. I'm worried about Chris Boyd with his eyes and whatnot. I think it just depends if he can get a DB coach to channel his what he is good at, his abilities. Quite frankly, his ability to turn and run. His physicality, especially at the line of scrimmage, then he's got a shot. He's got a shot to make a 53-man roster. But if he continues to have bad eyes, I don't see him, playing NFL football. Just the reality of it. He's going to get drafted for sure, but he's going to have to prove himself and speak and account for all the bad tape that he had. I mean, it just is what it is. He's going to have to get to the point of where he was at the end of his junior year, where and look, Chris Boyd still made all Big 12. I'm not a Chris Boyd hater. It's still there, but he's got to pick it up. OU, who do you love to hate more? OU. They're that's who we're chasing. We're not chasing A&M. I mean, we're competing with A&M in recruiting, but we're, our path to the playoffs, our path to where we want to go for legacy purposes, to me, is OU. A&M, I agree, Fitz. They little brother to me. The difference was the coaching, recruiting. Yeah, OU for sure. OU for sure. Sorry, guys. I'm just gonna scroll up here to make sure I got some of the. Hey, Roman, what's going on? Come through, Roman. Me and Roman be chatting up about Cowboys. What's up, Roman? What's up, man? No, I agree, D. Barrett. Coaching has done. What do you think Mac is going to do at North Carolina? That's going to be interesting. It's a place he knows. It's a place he obviously had the success that garnered him getting to Texas, but he's been out of coaching, and I've never been a fan of guys coming back except for Bill Snyder. But when it comes to coaching for Mac, he's going to recruit well, and he already started stealing some people down there. The question for me with Mac is, can he get good enough to make Clemson nervous? Because right now, nobody in that region is making Clemson work. There's some cute little ACC teams down there, but even with Florida State being down, nobody's making Clemson work in that region. Really, it's Clemson and Alabama and that whole South Atlantic, almost Florida region. Mac's got to get it to the point where he starts getting some of those guys and really hitting on his evaluations, doing better. But I'm not a fan of old coaches. Miami's going to make Clemson fight with Tate Martell. Does anybody know if Tate Martell? Do we know if Tate Martell is going to be eligible yet for this season, or is he going to have to wait till next year? How do you think, Alex Thomas? Welcome. How do you think DeGabriel Floyd fits in next year? That's John's guy. John thinks DeGabriel Floyd has a chance to start at linebacker. I'm high on him too. Love his versatility as a football player. And I think when that's another guy, if Yancey McKnight gets his hands on him, watch out. Amenahue will be high stock. Amenahue's he's playing his way into some money, and he's got great size. What's going to be great for Amenahue is I think he's going to test very, very well at the combine. So watch out for the combine. I think he's going to test very, very well. Survey says SEC was a joke. Y'all got jokes in here. What's my background? Oh, that's a good question. I played football in high school. I had to stop playing. I did play the quarterback position. I grew up in Silver Spring, Maryland, right outside of Washington, D.C. My mother's a Texas ex, and when she got a job in D.C., to go to a nursing program, she had me, but she had me in D.C. And I grew up. My mother's from Lockhart, Texas. Shout out to Lockhart for those of you know where that's from. And I was raised as a Texas football fan. My mother is a Texas football fanatic. And that's where all this comes from. And my love for Texas. I grew up going to family trips just to go to UT games. My man's from Lockhart. Yeah, Virgil Taylor Jr. That's my grandfather down there. So, yeah, but that's my background. Unfortunately, I had really bad scoliosis. I had to have a spinal fusion, so ended my football career. Actually got into a little bit of coaching very, very briefly before moving down here professionally. Black's Barbecue. Yeah, Blacks, Smitty's, Kreitz, all that. I thought Charles Amenahue looked fantastic today. I can't wait to see his highlight tape from his entire week at the Senior Bowl, but he was good. He was great. Hate to jump a year in advance, but man, 2020 could be one of the best Texas has had. Yeah, I don't like jumping in advance either, but with the excitement, especially when the way Tom Herman continues to evaluate quarterbacks. By the way, shout out to the 10-minute mark. Maybe this app worked knock on wood. Hopefully, you can stay up here. But let's talk about Woodard. That's a good one because he actually didn't play last year at all. I know we got to see a sneak peek at Malcolm Epps, a sneak peek at Brendan Eagles. But Avante Woodard, another guy who was top 100 ESPN recruit. I think he was like 83. He's got to stay healthy. We got to see him on in the spring game, and with his skill set, maybe I want to see one of these guys if they can cross train themselves in the slot to compete with either Whittington, Smith, and a Joshua Moore. Joshua Moore, by the way, is my sleeper for this year. Oh, somebody hit me. Somebody hit it right as I said it. I like Joshua Moore a lot, and I think the coaches like him a lot too because he was playing the most out of all those young guys before he had the shoulder issue. You look at that touchdown he had in the USC game; it was fantastic. I'm a Louisiana Tech grad, but have been UT fan since 05. Hello, friends went to LSU. I'll be at the game. But shout out to Louisiana Tech, by the way. I know we're playing in week 1, but my brother-in-law plays baseball there, second and third base. My man, Grant Jones. Shout out to Grant Jones, brother-in-law there. So, but Louisiana Tech going down week 1. Grant. What do you think about Shane Buechele? I'm thankful for Shane Buechele. I hope he ends up in a great situation that fits his skill set. I think him and his family are smart. I think they'll make a move to where he can hopefully start these next 2 years. But excited for Shane Buechele. He's a Cougar now. Who's a Cougar now? Oh, yeah, Josh Moore. I thought you were talking about Buechele. Yeah. Joshua Moore's brother went to U of H. Didn't see much of Chris Boy in the senior game. I got to look at the tape. I didn't see a whole lot of it. I was busy today, but I really got to see more of a Menahue. He was flashing all over the TV screen today. Buechele would be perfect at Texas Tech. Well, Texas Tech got Alan Bowman, guys. I mean, Austin. I mean, he's going to be the guy for the next 3 years there. What do you think Jake Smith will do? I think Jake Smith, he of all the guys was probably the most polished in the slot just because of how many reps he got in high school in Arizona. I like his route running ability at all 3 levels. I do think there's a potential Whittington could be in the running back room. I don't know why I have an inkling, but just to get the ball in his hands and to maybe make it a little bit easier for everybody, I could see Whittington actually starting off at running back. Who's to say that Jordan Whittington right now isn't already the second best running back on the team? Deshaun Jameson, I think, is definitely going back to defense. Oh, yeah, some of you guys are agreeing with me about Whittington in the running back room. For sure. I mean, you guys saw what he did at Cuero. He's gifted with the ball in his hands and somebody who there's going to be snaps there available. I know we have the brother coming in from Georgia who was, who picked up steam heavy, but I do like what I'm going to see from. I would cross train all these guys, by the way. But Whittington Kamara, that's a great comp. That's a great comp, Alex Thomas. Great comp. Jake Smith, hey, don't compare him to Christian McCaffrey just because he's white, man. I actually see Jake Smith move more of a Percy Harvin if I had to compare him to anybody. Brewer the next day, David Thomas. Hopefully Brewer can stay healthy, and hopefully we can see Reese Laytow play tight end too. Tight end's another questionable position, but that's a position, as I said in a previous video, that we could see some upside on if because Andrew Beck, he really he wasn't a elite tight end by any means, stretching the seam vertically, making contested catches. Andrew Beck was more of a guy who was an inline blocker, and that's why he made All Big 12 as an H-back. Thankful for his contributions on the field and as a captain, but I think we have some upside there in terms of pass catching. A lot of speed next year. I don't know how long John Burt's gonna play with all these guys. I mean, they may be inclined, if he's even with any of these guys, that man's gonna play before him. So John Burt's gonna have to have a really, really good camp to warrant his snaps on the field. Hopefully, he's a veteran in the locker room. He's a great kid, and he's done a lot even for our track program. So I'm excited to see his development. Who do I think is going to win the Super Bowl? I'm done picking against Tom Brady. I think Tom Brady, the New England Patriots, are going to take the Super Bowl. Although I will say this, I do like the Rams front with Donald and Sue. I think they're going to be able to hold up against how physical the Patriots have been at the point of attack. You know, the Patriots have kind of gone the opposite direction. Everybody's spreading out, and they went in and put a tight end and fullback in there. So I could see, you know, Sue playing real discipline. I could see him soaking up some blocks and making it interesting. But I got to pick Tom Brady, you know, to win this one and get number 6. So Jared Wiley, is that the guy? That's the kid out of Temple, I believe, who played a bunch of different positions. He's been lauded as a sleeper, but every year we have these guys we talk about as sleepers. I want to see it on the field with them. Braden, I love his athleticism. And I like the fact that he's going to be a guy that can high point the football. I've seen that from him on tape. Very balanced tight end. Something about those Arizona guys. I'm not going to bring up number 87's name on the Patriots, but you know, I like what I see from Braden on tape. Okay, yeah, he played QB for Temple. He played a bunch of spots from what I saw on his tape. Caleb Johnson has a lot of experience, but I think he's only 215 right now. He is a bit light. He is more of an outside linebacker. But he has that experience edge over Floyd. But Floyd just, you know, that, like I said, that's John's guy, but he seems like a guy who's just going to jump in there and, you know what he's doing right off the bat. Yeah, Shackelford has one more year, guys. He has one more year. He was in the 2016 class. We will miss Vahe and we'll miss Calvin Anderson, but I think so. We haven't talked about offensive line. You guys think Cosme will be able to slide in at left tackle? And then we have what, Kerstetter at right tackle, or what are we doing? Sorry about that, Wayne. We dropped off. I downloaded some app to help with the connection, so it's been sticking. We're in at 18 minutes now, so maybe it's picked up. Kerstetter, that's the beauty of a Kerstetter. He can play every position. But right now I'm worried about this year's line. Tyler Johnson's another guy who looks like he can play interior or on the outside as well. And then we have some other guys that have been kind of brewing, man, that they've been working on. Reese Moore, you know, that was a guy they brought in. The other guy, I think Christian Jones. Okafor didn't play last year. And Okafor, it's going to be Okafor versus Kerstetter for right tackle. Because y'all forgetting Okafor started a bunch of games at left tackle. And that was the beauty of what Calvin Anderson allowed us to do, was to just buy us some time. So that's going to be huge. Murphy from UCLA. I missed that one. Kerstetter at right guard. Oh, yeah, Junior Aguilar. That's another highly regarded guy who might be Patrick Vahe 2.0. Hopefully a little bit better in the pass blocking game. I think Coburn's going to be a monster. I think I like what I hear about his attitude. I like his infectious nature with guys. They talk about him a lot. I heard he was an animal on scout team. And with his body, his conditioning, hopefully he's just more up to the task. Oh, Bob Shipley. What's Ajomo's injury health situation? I thought he got hurt. He had a knee something. I love Ojomo. He's young. He's only, 17, 18 years old? Somebody chime in with Ojomo's situation. Joseph Osai. That's my dude. Potentially could be the best pass rusher on the team. That's what I think about Joseph Osai. I mean, you guys saw what he did in the bowl game against Georgia. You saw what he did in the Iowa State game, ready when called upon as a young freshman. They don't even got his body yet. I think Josh Thompson could be your starting nickel corner first game of the season. Now, if he holds up there, it's going to be a battle between him, Jameson, depending on what they do with any of these other corners they've brought in. But I think Josh Thompson is going to be your starting nickelback next year. Appreciate the questions. These are great questions. Who do you have returning kickoff punts? I think Deshaun Jameson with punts. Kickoffs, I want to see Jordan Whittington and Jake Smith back there. I want to see those guys in the mix as well. Jake Smith looks like he's a very good punt returner too. I need to get up on Javon. I'm not gonna lie. I need to study him a little bit more. I just know that, for recruiting sake, he's somebody we're chasing. High upside guy, even though he's not, even though he's a lower tier 4-star, but obviously we're in a hot battle with A&M, and he's got size. That's the one thing that does jump out to me with him. He has size. You kind of what McCullough off the field in 2019. Did you see the Kansas game, Peyton? McCullough looked great out there. EJ Hollins, I know. I don't know why he wants McCullough off the field. I thought McCullough helped us out even in the Georgia game too, setting the edge. Gary Johnson, I think, but that's a guy, guys, go. He's going to test well. He's going to test well at the combine because we already know about his speed, but I think he'll lift well. And again, with the strength and conditioning program we've had, I think it'll show off here at Texas. Me too. Yeah, Byron Vaughn, he was another guy, that the high upside guy that they brought in. So, we'll have to see, how he develops and what his body looks like. A lot of these guys, it depends on how their bodies look like in the offseason and what they're doing. That's why our guy, Sam Ehlinger, you look at his body from his freshman year where he was already big but a little doughy, and how ripped he looked when he came back and just taking care of himself. I know he was even in the Power Clean Club in the offseason. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. Gary Johnson, too, with him is going to be scheme. Dude looked like he hit the roids in the offseason. LSU crowd is going to be crazy, too, because they're going to travel extremely well for that game. I'm going to tell y'all this. The tailgate in Austin is going to be out of control on that. Thoughts on Hudson Card? I like Hudson Card. Great athlete. Still developing as a quarterback, but his competitiveness, I love his competitiveness. For those of you who don't know about Hudson Card, he's the Lake Travis quarterback. I actually get to see him play since he's local. But Hudson actually started the state championship game against Allen and wasn't started when Matthew Baldwin got hurt, who's at Ohio State right now, and competed his ass off. They lost by like 1 point in that game. But he's a guy who came in and lit it up predictably his junior year. So really excited for his development. He's got to get a little bit bigger and put some weight on, but he played wide receiver that year when they went to state. And he was 1,000-yard guy, 15 touchdowns. And granted, he played opposite of our boy that went to Ohio State, Garrett Wilson. But I really like what I see from Hudson Card and his development. And look, I know there were some guys a little critical of the quarterback room. Tom Herman tells us all the time he recruits starters, and I like how the quarterback room is developing and shaping up. I like how when you look at Rashawn Johnson, his development, somebody even compared him to De'Aaron King at Houston. Thompson probably compares to like a bigger Greg Ward. So he recruits. He's developing these guys. LSU gonna find out the hard way. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Clemson will beat A&M. I don't think that's a stretch, Jeffrey. I think Clemson's, A&M's, that's a tough one for them. What are your thoughts on Preston Stone, class of 2021? Preston Stone, obviously young phenom, probably better feet in and out of the pocket than some of these guys. And I like his ability to throw on the run. For those of you who don't know, Preston Stone's a kid out of Dallas. And he's class 2021, so he's only going into his junior season. But with a lot of these guys, man, it's still a long way to go. We have seen some people plateau, if you will. So just want to see that continued development from Preston Stone. But he's on his way. 2 young corners. Zach Evans. Wow. So y'all want to talk about Zach Evans? That's our. Y'all remember when we missed on Adrian Peterson? I think that hurt Texas long term. I think we probably win more than one national championship with that group we had if we had that player. Zach Evans out of North Shore, Houston. Absolute must sign Tom Herman. Absolute must sign Longhorn Nation. Got to get Zach Evans on campus. For those of you who have not seen him, please go check out his film immediately. Those are the type of guys we have to hit on. Absolutely, no doubt about it. He's a game changer. He's a game changer. If we get dogs up front, he said that's what he's looking for. He said he's looking for an offensive line that can help with that. And we've heard a little bit about his family situation as well. But he seems to be a very mature kid and kid that to also be a leader here. And we are getting a lot of those guys. Jordan Whittington, I love his demeanor and his work ethic. Getting people here with work ethic is what's building this momentum. He looked like he was jogging. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm enjoying this chat, guys. Appreciate y'all getting us to 3K. We got 64 people in here after multiple drops. Just insanely grateful for all you guys. I thought we were only gonna have a couple people just here chatting, and completely blown away by this. So thank you guys. I'm surprised we didn't recruit better in the state of Texas. Obviously referring to 2018. Guys, that was the Jimbo effect. Look, Jimbo being here in Ohio State and some of the other programs cleaning up. You have to take that into account. But Tom Herman was able to counteract that with having arguably the greatest out-of-state class we've ever seen, potentially. Vanilla Bean, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate the love. I agree. Educated fan base that has class, not too much. Nobody's, crapping on anybody. Just talking ball, having a good time. Saban doesn't need to recruit in one state to win. Herman will go anywhere for elite players. That's what he has to do. And I've noticed that people from Texas, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, I think I said this before, people from Texas seem to be a little bit more up on recruiting their state and winning their state, rightfully so, than people from out of state who are UT fans that just want to see us get players. So I think, and there's some pride that goes into that. Represent for the state. We are the flagship program in the state of Texas. Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. But you got to get, when a lot of these coaches know early on where they have a lead or they don't, and they got to make adjustments. And you saw Tom Herman do that with this 2019 class. Yeah, Jordan Hicks came out of Ohio. For those y'all don't remember, look, Ohio State come here, lives in Texas. So I mean, at some point you got to return the favor. Position change for Chris Boyd at the next level. What is he going to play safety? I don't know. Oh, we are Dread Knight #1. Welcome, and we are John and I are gonna talk about that on Tuesday. The Texas and A&M renewing the rivalry, and appreciate the love, bro. Appreciate the love. But we're gonna cover that on Tuesday. That's a loaded question, but I don't think it's happening anytime soon. Anthony Cook, we were talking about a little earlier, but Anthony Cook, I think he got a lot of experience in Oklahoma State, even the West Virginia game, especially. And I think in this offseason, his man coverage, I think he's going to be outstanding. What I would like to see from those young corners is just learning the intricacies of the defense, communicating. The Big 12 is very, very difficult. All the complex offenses, all the things going on. Want to make sure that those guys are buttoned up with our scheme. Texas. No, I'm not saying Texas doesn't have the best football talent. I just think that you have to recruit everywhere. But I'm not gonna. And I think each year could be different. I think some year Florida could be loaded one year, and you go and get you some. I think sometimes California has some guys. Look, we just went and got one of the best players out of California. So I don't think it's just strictly every single year. But I think more times than not, Texas football is providing the best players, in my opinion. Thoughts on Texas playing Bama in 2022? I don't think Nick Saban's going to be around. I mean, other than that, like, you know, our teams are going to look completely different by then. But so, you know, I kind of question guys who didn't play high school football in small states. Right, John. Yeah, that kid that Oklahoma State's from Canada. Yeah, I mean, it's 2019. Man, you can get football players from anywhere, especially the way these recruiting companies are working 24/7, deploying teams. John and I were actually chatting about this at work on Friday. Just how the level of investment in recruiting and these services that has gone on in the last, 10, 12 years is insane. I mean, look at some of the shows they have right now. QB1, the Elite 11 production has gone insane with NFL Network. All these shows, it's crazy. Contrary to popular belief with CTE and all the things you hear, football's still growing. Japan recently played under 17 American football team down the wire, and I did not know that. Yeah, the A&M kid, Demas or Demas, how you say his name? He's like 6'4" too, and he can high point the football. That's a potential flip right there. But the thing is, our room remaining. Oh, gonna have to end the IG chat. 1 sec. Somebody could be leaking some of that stuff. I think Texas is going to be ranked right outside. I think they're going to be around 7. I think a fair ranking for Texas is probably 8 or 9. I think sometimes if we get a little bit higher than that, you know, that puts you know, but you know what? At the same token, this team has to learn how to play with a target on its back. I don't care if y'all get ranked 2, like don't lose the next week because you know it went to your head or whatever. They got to learn how to play an expectation. That's how that team in 05 did when they got up to number 2 and they were chasing USC. Texas has to find, even if it's a running buddy in the rankings, somebody to chase. Oh, by the way, for those of you who always question the sign in the back, it says Austin. Some of you have always said, "Oh, I got the Alabama A back there." No. Do you think we'll dominate teams to play down? I hope we dominate teams. I hope we dominate teams. And that's been the knock with Tom Herman. Honestly, like at this point, the only question mark I have with our coach is getting his guys up to play the Tulsas of the world, getting his guys up to play Louisiana Tech, because there's no question what he's able to do against the big dogs. Even week to week in the Big 12, he's done well. He's done well. I mean, conference games, I really don't even question Tom Herman there. The only game I was pissed was about conference-wise Oklahoma State. But when you come out with the effort you've came out with the last 2 years against Maryland, that's the only thing I question with Tom Herman, and I worry about it because it does go back to Houston. He did lose to UConn. He did lose to Navy. So there's some of those things you got to get those addressed. Oh, Frank Carroll coming through with a $10 donation. Thank you, sir. And Frank's comment: does Texas get another QB to fill out the room? And what about Overshawn? I think we're good in the QB room right now, Frank. Again, thank you. We do have, even with Sam Ehlinger and his health concerns, you still have Casey Thompson and Rashawn Johnson. Rashawn Johnson can be able to sit. Casey Thompson, assuming, I think the only way they go after another quarterback is if Thompson and Johnson, either an injury occurs in spring or they just all of a sudden look terrible. But Thompson looked good, and they said he tore it up in scout team last year, all throughout the whole bit. So I believe we're good in the quarterback room, especially considering the you have Hudson Card coming in next year, Preston Stone potentially the year after that. That's going to be tough. Overshawn, I think Overshawn eventually will find a home at linebacker. That's a position that they'll have to. Oh, go ahead, babe. My wife just wants to walk by. Go to the bedroom. There she goes. No, but I think Overshawn eventually finds a home at linebacker. We need bodies there. We're light there. Hey, Cowboys X Factor, you're one of the first 5 subscribers I have. Appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. You've been here since day one. Really appreciate you. It is really cool to do a live stream with you guys. What do you think about Texas men losing another basketball game, dropping 5 out of the last 6? Look, they haven't been able to shoot since the first season when they had Felix and Isaiah Taylor. I mean, you can't shoot, you can't finish around the rim. They miss so many bunnies, whether it's Dylan or I don't know what happened to Jericho Sims. But they're struggling. Just struggling. And it's frustrating because I was in the bag for Shaka. I love Shaka at VCU. I was still living in Maryland when he did his thing in VCU. And I was excited for the hire, but you got to know when to fold him. And I think Chris Del Conte has a decision to make at the end of the year. I know that buyout is heavy, but we can't. I mean, hey, you miss Bamba, but how many guys have come through here? Going back to Miles Turner when we had Rick Barnes here. And look, culture's an issue too with Texas basketball. They have to identify, they have to figure out, because I'm not buying the excuse that Texas is only a football school and they can't they can't develop their basketball culture to where it needs to be. I'm not buying that. You have to figure out, whether it's reaching out to your student body. I don't know, my dog's choking. Lucy, you all right? Lucy. Babe, come check on Lucy.
What happened?
She's dying.
You okay?
Anyway, dogs choking, guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, but the basketball team, man, you got to get, whether it's Miles Turner, Mo Bamba, Jared Allen, all these guys that have come through. To me, it's a coaching issue, and when you have a poor product, just the whole PR around Texas basketball, all of it has to be revamped. All of it has to be revamped. Yeah, that's the thing. Who said that? Danny Hinton. Other programs at Texas are doing fine. So Texas basketball can get there. I mean, I grew up watching TJ Ford and Mouton and all those guys. Buckman. So I mean, shoot, they can get back. Yeah, I have a dog. I have 2 dogs, Lucy and Apollo. Thoughts on Darian Brown? I like. He looks like a really smooth runner. I liked his production at a good program in Georgia. He finished strong. I think he almost went over 2,000 yards. He can catch the football out of the backfield, and he runs behind his pads. But what I like most about Darian Brown is how smooth he is in and out of his cuts. Seems to have great vision. My thing with him is just adjusting to big-time college football, because it is a little bit different animal over here. But, he's a guy that also rose late. He was a late riser in the recruiting rankings. You can get there. Ingram, if he gets the carries, but he's got to be healthy. He's got to be healthy. And I'm telling you guys, somebody earlier, I don't know who it was, made the comparison of Jordan Whittington and Alvin Kamara. That's the type of suddenness I see, only, potentially even a little bit faster than what Kamara showed at Tennessee. And Kamara was a great player. Rick Barnes has Tennessee basketball at number 1. Rick Barnes needed a reset. Fran Fraschilla talks about that a lot. He's not the same coach right now that but he has a program and an environment that's supportive. Great assistants. I think Shaka's assistants, outside of Coach Horn, Darren Horn, that he's who's developed our big men. He's got to revamp that coaching staff, in my opinion. and he's got to get if he wants to save his job. Some of you are out, and I totally understand. Over under 4.5 Texas players getting drafted. Ooh, I would go over actually, because I think either Vahe or Elijah Rodriguez could get a look, especially because of position versatility. So if you factor in Chris Boyd, Lil John Humphrey, Gary Johnson, Charles Menahue, that's 4 right there. And then if any of the linemen get drafted, PJ Locke might get a look late. He's a guy that will test and interview well. And y'all forgive me if I'm missing anybody. We'll see if Trey Watson can make anything happen. Who knows? Who knows? LJ getting drafted by the Cowboys. Oh, that would be my dream. That'd be my dream. Oh, Jake Ellinger, Sam's little brother, who was a preferred walk-on. Hopefully he's a guy who can help us out. I mean, I don't see and I saw him play at Westlake a bit. The measurables aren't there with Jake right now, but you never know with kids like that. You saw what happened with Brecken Hager. He was a 2-star guy coming out of Westlake. So, but right now, Jake, could he develop into a guy that maybe we move him even the H back? I would say to help with blocking and special teams. Who knows? But he just wasn't blessed with the same physical gifts that Sam was. And that's okay because I still see that passion for football. And he's a guy that's going to help with culture and in the building and practice. I agree, Lance. Doing an outstanding job there. Outstanding job there. Space Cowboy actually made that point earlier. I think we're going to get better on the line. No disrespect to Chris Nelson. No disrespect to Brecken Hager, excuse me. But when you have Taquan Graham, even Osai, all these guys are Jomo. Somebody answered my question about Jomo's health, by the way. Coburn, defensive line can definitely get better. Vanilla Bean, what's up, man? Si se puede. Hook him, Carlos. Tonell Carter went to Sam Houston State, I believe. Good luck to that, brother. My cousin, I'm trying to actually get my cousin to go to Sam Houston State. They have a great program. I love their coaching staff. Why are we not recruiting out of DFW? We're struggling there. We don't have the roots yet with this coaching staff. We got to get there. I know a lot of you guys wanted to hire David Beatty. It would have helped. But, I just think that, the DFW situation, those coaches up there, that's fertile recruiting ground for so many different programs, especially with TCU up there. But you're also looking at Houston. These guys have such deep ties in Houston. I have not heard about Beatty landing from somewhere. Yes, Owens is from Plano East. But again, he's been the late bloomer from a rankings perspective in this class. I agree, Akil. It'll come eventually. Manila Bean, don't get out of here with the Boomer Sooner stuff. Get out of here with that. Thoughts on Malcolm Roach staying? Well, he had to. He was injured. He was, and he missed out a lot. Obviously, his body, you can see, with his body, he wasn't in football shape. I think he can have a breakout season like Charles Menahue did and make himself some money. I see that for Malcolm Roach. Guys, I'm going to probably go for a few more minutes here. It looks like the stream held up fine. I guess that app I downloaded worked. So I'll make sure to have that on here for future streams so we don't have any connectivity issues. Same question with Brandon Jones. Any recruits you think are worthy 5 stars in our 2019 class? Jordan Winnington should get his 5-star back, in my opinion. I think they're discriminating against Jake Smith because he played in Arizona. Anytime you're the Gatorade National Player of the Year, how are you not a 5-star? I don't understand that. I mean, what more could Jake Smith have done, even at these camps? Because we have to factor that in too, and that's where they evaluate a lot of guys. But I don't know what more Jake Smith could have done not to garner the 5th star. That's why I always feel some type of way about rankings, because at the end of the day, like, your 5-star doesn't mean diddly squat when spring ball starts. Doesn't mean anything. You're even. All it is expectations. So for Tyler Owens, all it is for him is expectations. Brandon Jones is going to be a captain this year. Ashley Larry, I appreciate it. Thank you. $10 donation. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. I actually do plan on launching a Patreon very, very soon here. I will get that up and running. So I appreciate you. Eric Fowler is actually at Sam Houston State. I saw him there when I went to go for my cousin's visit. But Ashley Larry, appreciate it again. I will have, those of you who want to, donate, obviously, I do have a new laptop I'm using for this, which is why I was so upset with the connectivity stuff, but we're getting that stuff figured out. But just with, equipment, microphone, I am going to be getting another camera to use. So we're going to be there. Yeah, Eric Fowler I think he was a guy that's the thing. Eric Fowler was a guy who had gotten his 5th star. So, I mean, and then, it started and it wasn't, obviously it wasn't a good fit for him. Now he was playing, and when I went to the Sam Houston State game, he was really playing defensive tackle the whole time. And that was a guy who was supposed to be a middle linebacker. Ed Oliver to Dallas. I'd love to have him next to Tank Lawrence. Tell you that. I'd take him over David Irving. Do it, CFB Picks. Don't hesitate. I started this YouTube channel just to talk about boxing initially. Noble, I wanted to talk about Triple G and Canelo. I'm still passionate about boxing, but I'm passionate about Longhorns, passionate about Cowboys, and those of you who are here, don't hesitate, man. It's a blast. I know that video it felt like a decade ago, Ashley Larry. It really did. This is fun. I mean, we might have to do this. I realize how much of a blast I'd be having talking to you guys. So we might have to do a little live session, maybe bi-weekly or something. Let me know. And I'll start sending out, now that I know what I'm doing a little bit better, I'll send out the code via social media and we'll hit up everybody there. Do more live streams. On it. I'm glad we got this set up. Yeah, we'll go a few more minutes here. Still, a good amount of people in the chat. I'm watching right now. Oh, yeah, Keith Thurman's fighting tonight. Expect him to hopefully with all the time he's had off with allegedly a shoulder issue as he was ducking my boy Earl Spence. Louis Felipe, start your channel, man, but find a buddy of yours like I have with John, or find somebody that you can just bounce off of, or if you just want to share your thoughts and learn. I will say this, talking with you guys, I know my share of football, I feel like, but I've learned a lot, whether it's, information, whether it's stuff schematically, just things that you guys have been able to chime in on. I really appreciate that. Do you think Texas, you have a good night, Dread Night, but do you think Texas and A&M have a chance of playing each other in national playoffs? Hook them. A&M is having to replace a lot, and their schedules, I don't think so. Their schedule's too tough. Thoughts on who's going first overall in the draft? I think it's either going to be Bosa or a quarterback could sneak up there. Don't ever count out the quarterbacks, especially when the way John Gruden's talking about Kyler Murray and the way, we haven't seen Haskins throw yet. One of those guys could bump up. Happy birthday, Fulton. 20th birthday. Awesome. God bless. Federer, Herman, do you think he'll have a dynasty like Saban did at Tech, or will have a dynasty like Saban at Texas? And what's the thing you most like and dislike? The thing I most like about Tom Herman is how he seizes the moment, how he seizes opportunity. Anytime there's the big moment, big stage, he has Texas looking its best. Flip side of that is he struggled with games like Maryland, games like Oklahoma State, where we come out flat are just not ready to play, or not sometimes didn't look interested to play. So just that consistency from week to week, that's what I'm looking for from Tom Herman. For me, it was Oklahoma State game in terms of most frustrating game, because openers suck, but the Maryland or the Oklahoma State game coming off a bye, ranked 6th. We knew what it was going to be around Halloween time at OSU, and when we even started off with the kickoff out of bounds, I'll never forget. Bruce should get a waiver. I hope. I hope they, the NCAA, will do us a good guy because we're Texas. That's what that's what I'm hoping for. I think he'll get it. I agree, Jeffrey. Jared, yeah. So Casey Thompson staying stabilizes the QB position, and you have Rashawn Johnson coming in, who by the way, I love his intangibles. I like how he sounds off the field, and I think he'll get to the point where he'll be able to develop into potentially a starting quarterback here in Texas. But quarterback room's going to be fine, especially with the guys we even have coming in on the back end. Look, guys, every major program, if you recruit quarterbacks, you're going to have churn. The way the portal's set up now, the way coaches move around, and the fact that you can only play one, quarterbacks are going to have much more movement. I actually went and checked out the portal, and there's so many more quarterbacks than any other position. It's not even funny. I think Sam's going to be a 4-year player. John Matthews, appreciate you, man. Thank you. $14 donation. Man, I'm grateful. That's going to help go a long way to improving this channel. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you. West Virginia was heartbreaking, but I actually felt like coming into that game, we were even with West Virginia. And I think leaving that game, if we play West Virginia 10 times, it'd be 5-5. But I thought that day, honestly, West Virginia was the better team. I really, really did. Do a call-in show next time. I'll have to figure that out. I had to figure out the live stream first, which we eventually got to, but I appreciate it. Thank you. Will Greer sucks. I disagree. Look at that throw you made to Jennings to beat us in the back of the end zone. Very impressive. I agree. Brandon Jones missing in that game killed us. Absolutely killed us. Anthony Cook had to play a lot too. Learned a lot in that game. Hopefully learned a lot. Yeah, they were some a-holes when they came here. Dana Holgerson to Houston. That's going to be fascinating. Do you think that there could be potential conference realignment with Houston? Why would he leave the Big 12 to go there? Why would he do that? That's interesting to me. But people are going to want to play for Dana in that scheme, especially what the statistics that those West Virginia receivers put up and how he developed that team. People are going to want to play at Houston. That's going to be an option for kids in the state of Texas. I think Brecken would have had a great game against West Virginia because they were in spread and passing a lot. But we struggled with the run in that game, if y'all remember. We did not fill our gaps well. We did not shed blocks. That's why I said they just flat out beat us that day. Les Miles, short term, no. Long term, yes. Depending on how long he wants to coach. But he is also a guy I could see clean up with Les Miles, that is, clean up in the JUCO ranks in terms of recruiting. What was our favorite game? Oh, Georgia. Georgia. I would say Georgia. Because there's so much doubt. And that's tough because the OU, the Red River rivalry, anytime you beat them, that was great. An underrated game, though, that we don't talk about enough, the USC game. I thought the USC game built belief. Felt like we could do it. And that picked up the momentum to beat TCU and all those other schools. I also didn't like the way we finished the Red River game, or else that would have been my favorite. Yeah, we definitely made TCU tap out. Gary Patterson literally. Or I think don't be surprised if he wins the slot job for Louisiana Tech. Defensively, Joseph Osai. That's my guy. I think he could be the best pass rusher on the team, even with Malcolm Roach and all those guys. I think Osai just has natural instincts. He uses his hands very well. He's able to disengage very, very quickly, and he's got good speed. Great recruit for Tom Herman. Those guys make great evaluations, Tom Herman and the staff. Guys, we'll go to the 1 hour mark, so we got about 4 more minutes. This has been so much fun. Don't sleep on the running back from Wisconsin. What's his name? Jonathan Taylor as a Heisman finalist. Don't sleep on him. Please don't leave. Now I gotta get out of here, and the wife and I are gonna go out on the town in a little bit. Have some friends coming over. Are they still coming over? Okay. Clemson, Texas in the national championship. Hey, I would hope that's the case. We'll see. We'll see. We got to win the Big 12 first, guys. We got to dethrone OU. They've won what, 4 straight? They asking for your Twitter, John. Guys, I can't wait for the show with John on Tuesday. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be real fun. A lot of stuff talking about. We're gonna talk about A&M, Texas A&M rivalry too. Wife's here in front of me making a whole bunch of noise. I got Pats, Vince. I got Pats in the championship. Tom Brady. I think this is interesting because it's really going to come down to Belichick, the old guard versus McVay and whatnot. And that matchup just with the coaches is fascinating to me. Did somebody answer that earlier? Is Tate Martell eligible? I wish we had Chiefs and Rams, though, for the Super Bowl. That would have been a lot of fun. Z7 boy, I'm not sure. If you want, you can email me. Why didn't Justin Fields transfer to Texas? First name Sam, last name Ellinger. Malcolm Brown versus Malcolm Brown. Very, very true. I saw that on the UT Twitter. Yeah, he didn't come off good on QB1, guys, on Netflix. Tate's, but with Tate, man, his skill set, his feet, and his accuracy is very accurate. It's very, very accurate. I don't like the fact he didn't want to compete with Justin Fields, though. That's alarming to me. But whether you like Tate or not, Tate's gonna be there. Tate's gonna be there come if he's able to play this year. Appreciate it, Zeds. Thank you. I think, guys, for those who didn't see the original live chat, since we're ending off here, I think we need to utilize Brew both ways, and then let the tape speak for itself. Very similar to what UCLA did with. It's getting late, so I'm starting to forget people's names. Miles Jack, and how they utilize him as a running back and defensive guy. I think he was like big Pac-10, Pac-12 newcomer, offense and defense. But I think you play Brew at receiver, and you also leverage him as an outside guy, potentially as a pass rusher. C. Wade, thank you. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the love. He's all wide receiver. Hey, if that's and that there's no problem there. It's a deep room, but it's alluring because of his tape. It's alluring because of his tape. But at the same token, you want to make sure the kid's happy. You want to make sure the kid's happy. Hey, Vince fan, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the donation. I really appreciate it. I got to try to figure it out. When are we going live again? Let me talk to John. I like to get John on here too. So we'll talk to him on Tuesday. See if we want to do something live. Next weekend's gonna be tough, but maybe during a weeknight or something. You know, if I'm busy, if I'm bored, I'll shoot something up on social media just to let everybody know. Guys, I'm signing off here though, and I'm glad this stream held up after some of the difficulties, but we worked through it together. Some of you were sending me stuff, and my wife's hitting the tripod now, so you know, we're hitting it up. Sunday is the best day to go live, bigger audience. Good to know. Good to know. Appreciate you guys. Have a good night. Hook 'em. Go Cowboys. Full bit. Blit bit. Love you guys. Appreciate it.